Okay, we are live now, so welcome everyone to session 4 of Gray Skies and Electric Light, my MYFAROG campaign using the coming rule set. So, to recap from the last session, Officer Soleil Greiser, was discharged from the hospital after suffering some sort of complication. I believe it was a concussion, like from her from the last mission that she took part of, and Officer Springs talked brought her back to her apartment. They had a brief conversation before they parted ways. They were kind of Officer Springs was kind of concerned about their comrade Horace, who had been absent from work for the past few days. So the next day, Slay, officially, becomes a part of the conspirator and dissident department, and she does a little bit of poking around, and it would seem that their companion officer Horace had been disposed of in some capacity. So after not a fairly uneventful morning, the three companions go take go out to lunch, where they then receive orders from Lieutenant Mayor that they are to investigate and evict any potential criminals out of the lost Lubin for a little bit. I'm sure he'll okay. So as I was saying, party got orders to investigate and evict anybody out of this place they call the slums, which is essentially kind of like the Kowloon walled city of that was in Hong Kong, like up until the early 1990s. They when they get there, they kind of struggle to find a way in. Eventually, Hector kind of busts open a wall into a brothel and make their way in. They take out somebody, I can't remember, and moving a little further in, they stop what appears to be like a small time, like a drug manufacturing operation. And towards the end of the session, they found themselves in a firefight with three individuals. One, ended up being killed. One was severely wounded and incapacitated, and the other one was, I believe Hector smashed down a wall and just kind of pinned him down to the ground. you know, but also Officer Springs, you know, he took a bullet to the knee, so he's, you know, not in the greatest of shape, and that's essentially where we ended it for the last session. So that's, you know, essentially where we are now. We're in this you know, this like horrible, you know, mess of a building. You have, you know, Hector has that you know, one man kind of pinned down to the ground. There's another guy. I believe he had a. I don't remember exactly what his injury was. I think it was a blow to the collar area. So he's.
It was either that or I shot his hand off. I can't remember. I think I might have shot his hand off with the shotgun.
Uh, yeah, I think that was actually what happened. So, but either way, you know, he's you know, incapacitated really. um, one guy is dead, and Officer Springs is, you know, incapacitated. You know, he you know, took a critical injury to the knee, so he's gonna need some attention. So, what's everybody going to be doing now?
I think Ronald had a stun, so I'll have to do some math and figure out how long it'll take him to be functional, but he'll try and grab the med kit and start doing some healing on himself, because I think he's the only one with training. But I imagine the others are busy with the suspects. I'll let them say what they want to do.
Uh, yeah. So you're gonna try and do healing on yourself. Is that what you're?
Correct. I think it's a -1 for healing yourself. So that's not something you should probably be doing, but
Yeah.
obviously in the moment.
Yeah.
You should, because you're trained, so it should be okay, right?
Yep, it's just the -1, and with intelligence, it basically is a flat roll. So
Nice. Okay, look at what you did to my friend, you motherfucker. You want to explain what exactly it is that you guys are doing here, and I want you to be as brief and as accurate as you can, or I'm gonna bash your head with this glove, with this fist, and I'm gonna smash a brick and turn it into rubble in front of him to intimidate this guy.
Let's see. He's going to kind of. He's going to essentially, you know, very weakly, you know, kind of like lift his head up and just kind of say in a very kind of, I guess, hoarse voice, because he's kind of pinned down. He can't really get his breath. He's like, we are part of the Blue Eyes organization.
Oh yeah, you're part of the Blue Eyes organization. I'm gonna give you a blue eye in a little bit if you don't explain what the hell that is.
Officer Hector, please back off of him. And then Soleil will go up and disarm the man if he hasn't already had his gun taken.
I'd say you would have no problem disarming him. Did you roll for your healing check?
I did. I rolled a 4, which is -2 HP. So Ronald's probably pulled out some sort of tourniquet and improperly put it on himself and cause himself quite a bit of pain. So you're going to hear a little bit of a scream from Ronald in the background of this.
All right, so yeah, you kind of.
I'm trying to see if I have healing proficiency really quick. Oh, it's called medicine in this, isn't it? I
Correct.
don't.
I do have a medical kit as well, so I'm not sure if a med kit has any bonus, but
It probably does. Let's see.
or it might just be functioning as bandages. That probably is more accurate because I didn't give myself any bonuses. So, I mean, it's possible that you could just. Ronald's not looking so good. Let me put it that way. I won't
Yeah.
metagame too hard after that.
I'm just looking for the tab where I have the MYFAROG, the coming PDF. Let me see.
All right, so Soleil kind of orders Hector to kind of back off him a little bit. Is that
Yeah.
All right,
There's no
all right.
reason to be
I'm
threatening
gonna.
someone we already have in custody.
Yeah,
Unless
you're right.
we are officially interrogating them.
You're right. I'm gonna get fired if I keep damaging these people. You're right. So Hector's gonna back off.
And then I'm going to kneel down next to the guy and say, and like help him sit up. And then I'm going to say, now I'm going to try to help you here because I don't know that I can protect you from, my more zealous compatriots. So it's just best for you and for me if you just tell me what you know, and I won't let them touch you.
all right? He'll say again, kind of like very kind of out of breath. Right. Were you able to find your PDF for the coming?
Yeah, I can't find med kits anywhere. Or what are they called?
Well, I thought there ought to have been some as such.
I think it must just be bandages.
I would imagine so.
I think I found it under. I was using search to kind of fly through the document a little faster. Yeah, it just basically says like general treatment. So I'm assuming that replaces bandages.
Do you know what page it's on?
It's basically just kind of written with the actual skills when it's replaced and removed. So it's not really a page; it's kind of just at the beginning.
Oh, okay. New, modified, and removed skills. No.
I just want to mention
Didn't you
there.
say you had like a medicine kit, though? You called it?
Oh, sorry, I must have misread that. I just saw the general first aid treatment, surgery. That's all under medicine, so I assumed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's something I'd like to mention. There was mod for surgeon's tools. I don't know how relevant it is, but it was a +5, but you had to have a, I think, +5 proficiency to use them. I don't know, medkit seems simpler to use, so it's probably going to be, everybody could use it. So maybe it could be like half of that, so maybe like 2 or 3. I don't know.
A med kit would just be like some like bandages, some or gauze, some
I mean, there are the Yarrow
alcohol
bandages,
for,
which
like-
are in the medical. I don't know how efficient the future bandages might be, but I think the Yarrow bandages stop bleeding immediately.
And painkillers, something like that, maybe as well in the med kit. Morphine shots, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, proficiency with healing is +2 for surgeon's tools. So I imagine that would be the same as a med kit, maybe.
All right. All right. So what exactly does so Soleil is trying to talk to this guy that they have in custody, and now
Specifically, I was trying to go with that good cop, bad cop routine in which I'm playing the part of the good cop. I read about how that works in an IRA manual, which is pretty cool. Essentially, the gist of it is first you have the bad cops come in and beat the guy up, and then the good cop comes in and says, hey, they're not supposed to be doing that, but I can't really stop them. Oh, the only way I can do that is if you just kind of confess.
Brilliant. I'm glad I beat him up for you.
all right. I mean, the guy's not putting up any fight, so you can pretty much just do whatever. Do whatever you would do whatever you would like with him.
Yeah, I'll just ask him, what is the Blue Eye? What was it? The Blue Eye Network?
This is the Blue Eye organization, or Blue Eyes. The Blue Eyes organization. I don't remember if I had like a different name for it in the previous session, but that's what I'm calling it now.
I don't remember, but yeah. So I'll just ask him what it is.
He says the organization is trying to rediscover the roots of people who look like us. People with fair skin, lighter hair, and obviously the blue eyes. Because
Is this a religious organization?
it's not a religious organization. It's more of just like a like a racial thing.
Now, out of character, so how illegal does this sound to the trained ears of a policeman?
I would imagine it's pretty much on the same kind of a level as, or a similar level to like a religious organization, seeing as since everybody is like nobody has like a mother or father, they're all like grown in artificial wombs, so they've went to great lengths to try and just destroy any roots and that somebody would have. But I guess the thing is, a lot of you have at least according to my lore, were born were you actually had like birth parents, but at some point you had your memories erased of that. So as far as you can recall, you never had a family, a mother or father. But yeah, according to the law of the land, any sort, any sort of like organization that is based upon like, racial identity or supremacy of any kind is illegal.
This guy sounds crazy.
Is that in character or out of character?
In character, that's what I'm gonna say.
Also in character, I'll say, well, I'm afraid that sounds quite illegal, and we will have to bring you in. Even besides the fact that you fired on police of Unity City. And I'll start handcuffing him.
Right. As you kind of handcuff him, he's really going to say, Do you have any idea what those lunatics like up in that ivory tower?" He's referring to the citadel, the massive just tower that can be seen from really all corners of the city. He's saying, "Do you have any idea what these lunatics in that ivory tower have done to create the world that we live in today?"
The ends justify the means, do they not? After all, we live in the most stable era in human history. We are more prosperous, wealthy, and happy than we ever were. And it's people like you who want to throw that away.
Your world, this world that we live in is built with blood and suffering. You could argue that this whole city is built upon a mass grave. Do you know what happened to those brave revolutionaries during the Great Liberation years ago?
I don't. And I don't imagine you do either.
Well, in the old world, when the old order was overthrown, these people, the enlightened ones, as they like to be referred to as, took all the power for themselves, and all those revolutionaries that fought tooth and nail for what they thought was a better world were all rounded up and slaughtered like pigs.
And you evidence this how?
He doesn't evidence everything. He's just talking a bunch of nonsense.
I guarantee you, if you were gonna go down to the right in front of that massive monolith and dig a hole straight down, you're gonna find bones.
Okay.
Yes.
Who taught you this? Who radicalized you?
Radicalized? Look, I'm telling you the truth. Yes.
What you're saying is dangerous.
So telling the truth is dangerous. I'd rather know an inconvenient truth and a comforting lie that is you know, regurgitated from the party.
So Leia is just going to be silent for a few seconds, just thinking this over. Because even though she doesn't believe what he's saying, she's very troubled by this. By the idea that there are these people who are this committed to opposing the party.
Have you ever wondered why on some days that you just can't catch your breath? It's like you're being like suffocated or you can't breathe.
I do.
Well, with the party's commitment to having a green and earth-friendly power source, but without sacrificing our lust for technology, they've had to cut down acres and acres of forests to build like solar panel farms and wind turbines. They've had to basically any body of water has been dammed to create hydroelectric power. The party's commitment to saving the planet is a lie. They've done more harm to the planet than they've done good. And what's worst of all, have you heard like of what these people did to the Germans?
The Germans?
In the old era, they were a very proud, race of people who inhabited the territory which used to be called Europe. But once we entered the new era, they rounded up every single last one of them, killed them all. They bulldozed every last inch of their land and turned them into a massive green energy farm. These people have wiped out an entire race of people to save the planet, but really they're just their their lust for technology really it requires such things, and these things are these things are not like very efficient. After so while they become toxic waste and they have to be dumped in some landfill. But I'm getting off topic.
How do you know all this stuff?
I don't think he knows anything,
Ask me,
Officer Hector.
I've done a lot of digging, and
Oh, and did you find bones?
have I found bones? I've absolutely found bones. You wouldn't believe me, of course, but you wouldn't believe me, but this entity that you serve is not the benevolent, caring, group of people that they claim that they are. They don't really care about the people here. They just want, to control every single thing that you do, and keep the average person, docile enough that they would never even think to revolt against it.
But why would they want to revolt against it? After all, what has been created is, like I said, the most benevolent society in the world's history. The people are happier and healthier than they've ever been. Right?
Are they really? You're all members of the police. I'm sure you've talked to a few paramedics, in your time. Every single one that I've ever seen are just shocked by how many people, off themselves in a day. It's because their lives have been made so empty and purposeless that there's nothing left for them.
Then what is the purpose?
People like us. People like us, people who look like me, originally laid the foundation of modern society. And it's people like you that have chosen to discredit us for that. And that really goes to show in that how they would slaughter millions of people like me in the name of saving the planet.
You didn't answer my question. It's just more lies. I asked, what is the purpose of life, of living? Now, I can tell you what I learned in school, which is that nobody knows. Nihilism is, of course, one of the breakthroughs that the party has given to us. The idea that we live to discover our purpose, to discover any purpose, a surrogate activity.
And what have you found? People aren't meant to, go through school, get a job, pay bills, and die. People are meant to do something greater than that. Just paying bills and die, and paying bills and dying. That's not a fulfilling life. That's living life as a slave.
It is being a slave to be part of something bigger than oneself.
Being part of a massive organization, even if like one's role plays a insignificant, how do I want to phrase this? Everybody, your role in a large collective organization like that is ultimately insignificant. Once you die, you will be, no sooner be replaced and forgotten. No matter what good, he does like little quotation marks, whatever good deeds you did, it ultimately means nothing.
What's your name? We're bringing you in. No further discussion. You fired on us, and now, if you don't quit, and Soleil is like very clearly angry and confused at this point. If you don't quit babbling, I will. And then calms down. Just shut up. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
The man kind of falls silent, knowing that the argument is ultimately going to be fruitless.
I will bring him to his feet and start basically duck marching him out of there.
All right. So he's just going to, be walked out to your patrol car and offer little resistance.
All right. And then I will radio to, I suppose it would be dispatch, and ask, and just say like the events of what have happened, and ask if they want us to go deeper in, or if we should call for backup, or just what they want me to do, what they want us to do rather.
They say that they have more units on the way, and you're free to bring the suspect into back to the station for further questioning and more than likely disposal, and also to bring they're also sending an ambulance to take Officer Springs to get his knee tended to.
Are there public libraries in Unity City?
I would imagine there would be.
Okay. I'm just keeping that in mind. So I assume everyone wants to go back to the station and bring the guy in.
Yeah, I'll get him acquainted with the prison guards. Or not prison guards, but like the people that keep the suspects in custody.
That'd just be regular police, which is what we used to be.
Yeah.
And I suppose Officer Springs is in an ambulance now, or the ambulance is on its way for him.
Yeah, pretty much. Whenever Officer Springs would be brought out into the open, there would already be an ambulance waiting for him.
All right. Stay strong, Ron. You did good.
Thanks, Sarge. I shouldn't have gone rushing in there like that. I should have taken cover and remembered my training, but I thought I had them there for a second.
You almost did. Let's just be grateful you got out alive. I've seen things go much worse than that over in the slums. You know, you never know what kind of weapons your assailants have, and you never know where they are, if there are any of them, how many, what direction they're coming from. It's crazy.
Yeah, Ron's just gonna nod in agreement and kind of thank, I guess, his sergeant for covering his back so efficiently and making sure he was getting out safe.
Alright, so Officer Springs is taken back to the taken to taken to the hospital, and now there is Officer Greiser and Officer I keep forgetting, what is Hector's last name?
He doesn't have one.
Oh, I have. It's Keegan.
Keegan, yeah.
Oh, it was Horace that didn't have one. That's
Yeah.
right.
Correct, yeah.
It doesn't really matter, though. It's fine.
Yeah, but anyways, what is Officer Greiser and Officer Keegan going to do now?
I guess we're going to probably get to the nearest precinct and drop our guy off. I asked his name, but then I interrupted him. So, yeah.
He kind of gives out kind of a he kind of like mumbles it, and it kind of sounds like Marcus or something.
So, Soleil is going to wait for Hector to get in the car first, and is going to as he's doing that, just whisper to Marcus, "You seem like a good person, but here's the deal. You are not going to be treated that way. You're going to be treated as a dissident and a criminal. You have to act repentant. Please, for the sake of your future, just fake it till you make it. You'll get out alive."
He kind of Marcus kind of looks at you kind of weird, like, because he's had experiences with police in the past, and especially for like people of his type, they're usually pretty ruthless in a sense. But he's kind of like taken by surprise that you have a little bit of a empathy, more or less. But he's still kind of apprehensive about it. But he just kind of nods, in acknowledgement.
And then I will get him into the patrol car and get into the passenger seat or the driver's seat. Which one did Officer Keegan go into?
I went into the I think driver's seat. I think I was driving the car, but
Okay, I'll go down the passenger seat. And since I'm not familiar with this area of town, I'll just get out a road map and study it. Probably on my phone, actually.
Yeah, you could probably pull it up on your phone, or I imagine you'd have that like a GPS sort of capability kind of built into the patrol car. But either way, you find your way to drop off Marcus for further questioning. And really, once you return, you get greeted by your lieutenant mayor, and they are going to they're going to say, Officer Greiser, Officer Keegan, that was quite a that was quite the that was quite something, like what you just went through.
Oh, it'll be all right. I just hope there aren't too many of those people thinking the way that those guys did. They'll certainly cause problems.
Well, Officer Greiser, that's why we're here. We're here to keep the people in line with we're here to keep the people in line with, the truth. What the party wouldn't tell us any lies. Why would they?
That's right.
These sorts of people, have been fed some sort of falsehood or fabricated some sort of falsehood and are passing it off as truth. And as just as I said, we're here to keep those people, keep those people in check and remove, prevent them from spreading their deceitful lies. So, rest assured that he will be, no longer be any harm to the greater good of our civilization.
All right. Is there anything else you need us to take care of today?
No, I don't. As of right now, I don't have any further orders for you. So, feel free to head back to your, finish up whatever paperwork you'll have to whatever paperwork that needs filled out until you are off duty.
Thank you, Lieutenant. And Sergeant Greiser just turns on her heel and walks to her desk and is immediately going to look something up before she, like normally she would do her paperwork immediately, but she's just going to look up the constitution of the party.
Okay. So, are you looking up anything specific that you're looking up?
Specifically, just reading it. She just wants to read it, and obviously, she probably read parts of it in school. But she just wants to read it so that she can dispel any last doubt in her mind that may have been sown about the benevolence and beneficence of the party.
All right. So it's pretty easy to kind of find that sort of document, and in it is pretty much your pretty standard I guess left-wing communist rhetoric that all individuals, they're all equal. Any sort of difference in like appearance, whether it be skin color, anything of that sort is simply superficial. It and very clearly it doesn't say anything about men and women. It just says like human or something of the like.
Now, I'll ask, is this does reading this assuage my fears, or does it, or is it unsatisfying?
Does it?
Is it written in such a way that it is actually going to that is actually going to reassure Soleil? Or is it written in such a way that it is very transparently masking a different agenda? Like it's all superficial?
On initial reading, you'd probably get kind of like some validation of like what your validation in your role as a law enforcement officer, especially in your sort of position. But maybe, just maybe, that's entirely there's still that there's still some more questions that need answered, and those answers aren't gonna be easy to come by, I suppose.
And then I suppose I've kind of taken the spotlight for a while here, so I'll just get to work now, and presumably Hector or Ronald are doing something more interesting.
Hector's in the gym of Union City pumping iron.
Yeah, and Ronald is currently in the hospital, getting his knee tended to, which actually they are just basically going to give him just replace his knee and give him like a metal like knee replacement. So
Nice.
He's gonna join the
Perfect.
Cyborg Club, but that's
I think Ronald
ordinary.
probably appreciates that. Yeah.
It's not out of the ordinary, considering it's, for some people it's very fashionable to kind of get cyborg implants, which a lot of them are kind of just really for show. They don't really have any practical purpose. But with how the world is right now, they're trying to find some way to kind of be unique and or stand out amongst the masses of the people. So your recovery time is going to be significantly less. You'd probably only be in the hospital for like a day, with kind of the advances of medical science. They probably found better ways to like heal like skin tissue.
Perfect. So yeah, Ronald will probably just be finishing up and I guess talking to the staff there and thanking them for all they've done and hoping to get dismissed shortly.
All right. So the rest of Officer Greiser and Keegan's time on duty is pretty uneventful, and you all return to your places of residence. Just kind of business as usual, more or less.
And then I'd like to search up one more thing.
Yeah.
The modern history of Germany. Just to confirm that what the guy said was not, in fact, true.
You look up. You kind of look up Germany, but you don't find anything about a country. Your search turns up your search turns up something called the German Green Energy Grid, and it is a colossal like green energy farm, a combination of hydroelectric power, solar power, wind turbine that encompasses the entire territory of what would have been Germany, Austria, the German parts of Switzerland, and the historical parts of Prussia have been turned into just a massive just like green energy farm. And what you kind of read is something along the lines of the like the German people have made a noble sacrifice in the name of saving the planet and conserving the conserving the environment for generations to come.
Why would they just eliminate an entire country just to make a solar farm? That doesn't seem very efficient. They'd have to transport all of the energy generated out of the country. So that doesn't answer any questions. And this is just Soleil just kind of thinking out loud.
Okay. I mean, there's not too much more, at least from your, from like your kind of brief search, from like where you found this out, confirm that at least something that this Marcus character has said. There's at least, to your knowledge, some truth to it, but you don't know if he's, spinning it in a different way or skewing some facts, but you have at least confirmed that there is a massive green energy grid in that territory. Now, are you doing this?
And with that, sorry.
Now, are you doing this?
I was just going to say, with that, I'll just get on with my business.
Okay. So, were you looking this up, like, while you were at the station, or are you doing that at home?
Probably at the station, actually.
Okay.
Oh, Soleil, what is it that you're looking up? Hector has just seen what she's been looking at and thinking about it as well. But he actually knows quite a bit about this, but he doesn't really show it.
Oh, I was just making sure. Soleil just kind of is stumbling over her words, like, I was just looking into some stuff that Marcus said when we arrested him, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, all he said was a bunch of lies. Don't believe a thing he said.
It was interesting, though. They actually did turn that whole country of Germany into an energy farm.
Well, don't you look too deep into it.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Right, let's get back to our business.
I would say probably by the time that like this conversation is taking place, it's probably around about time that you would like that your time on duty would be over for the day, and most everybody's at least on like the your shift before like the night shift would take your place. So you've probably been on duty for like at least 12 hours.
Oh man, we must be knackered.
Well, I mean, you being a former, infantry member, you've probably been you've probably been in far worse situations where you've probably hadn't like slept for like days, like on like the battlefield or something.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. I'm getting used to the comfortable life of enforcing the law.
Yeah. So whenever the time comes that you would, I guess, clock out, that you would, you know,
Yeah, I guess I'll be taking my, you know, I'll be taking all my personal belongings and I'll leave my uniform and everything at the station and just make my way to my car and start heading home, I guess. Unless somebody wants to join me. Because I'm gonna go and have a drink at that place if it's still open. The place we were before.
oh, the like the burger joint.
Yes.
I would say it's probably a lot of places. They're probably all open 24 hours. Very few businesses, close like overnight or for any like, or with any like regularity, barring, you know, maintenance or some other reason. So you would definitely be able to head down to that place and get something to eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there and have my dinner there.
And I would say, you know, I would say kind of at this point, Officer Springs is probably, you know, his knee, replacement, went successfully, but they're probably gonna keep him overnight at the hospital, and they'll probably like discharge him in the morning.
No worries. I guess he'll probably try calling Horace again just to see if he's heard anything at all from him, because it seems a little bit suspicious.
Horace?
He still hasn't gotten any calls back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna try and call Horace
calling
while
Horace
he's in the
again,
hospital.
Like,
Right to
basically
voicemail.
just says that the number is unavailable. Like, it doesn't ring at all.
Yeah, Ronald's just gonna be a little upset for a few couple seconds, but he's too weak to really think about it too hard. He's just gonna kind of lie back and probably get some rest after this. It's been a long day for him.
Okay. And how does Soleil end her evening before she turns into bed?
Just a lot of turning things over in her mind.
Okay. So I believe it was like I believe it was Soleil like the last time, but when you go to bed and you go to sleep, you have that one dream again where you like kind of get like this very like fuzzy image of like some sort of like a massive like crowd of people in like some sort of there's a lot of chaos. It kind of looks like some sort of riot going on, I suppose. And it's kind of moving in kind of slow motion. And you can't really tell where exactly it is, but it is in the city. And when you wake up, Soleil, you kind of like like you kind of had the dream before, and it really didn't, you know, you know, maybe it kind of like bothered you for a second, but like when you get up and you kind of get like the sense that something's not right, and you can kind of hear outside, you know, like you hear outside. It's like there's all seems to be like a constant, wailing of like police sirens, which to a degree is not exactly abnormal. But what is abnormal is that it's like it almost seems like it's constant.
And this is after I've woken up?
This is like after you've woken up in the morning.
All right. If I look out the window, what do I see?
Every so like you look out the window and you look out the window and in the direction of the citadel, which is the House of Parliament for the party. You kind of see like a few like faint clouds of smoke, and you can see, you know, police cars kind of, in the street, kind of racing in that sort of direction. And you can also see, to your surprise, which appear to be like more armored vehicles, like SWAT team vehicles. but surprisingly, like you've heard nothing about any sort of event going on. Like you would probably imagine, like if you were still like regular police, you'd probably, you know, would have been like called on duty at this point. So what does Soleil make of this?
Honestly, she's going to get her uniform on and start heading in that direction. She doesn't have a car, but she'll just start walking in that direction once she's uniformed.
Okay. So you're gonna like kind of throw on your uniform and you're gonna start kind of heading down that way.
Yeah. And it's kind of fortuitous at this point. I just started hearing a siren. More than one, actually, now.
So, as you walk out, you kind of walk out onto the street. You can kind of hear, like, as you walk by some people, like you hear them talking amongst themselves, and they're saying that something's happening at the Citadel. There's like some sort of like big like a demonstration going on in front of the Citadel.
I guess that's where I'm going. So is the smoke coming from roughly the same place as the Citadel? Like, I remember you said that you can pretty much see the Citadel from anywhere in the city.
It's visible from practically all corners of Unity City, and I'm kind of imagining you have like a pretty good view of it from where you are, and you can see like kind of like on like from like kind of like ground level, you can see at least maybe like 3 or 4 different kind of columns of smoke coming from that general area. Now I'm gonna turn it over to we're gonna do like a rotation, and we're gonna see how the others, you know, react to like what's going on. So we're gonna, from where I am, we're gonna go counterclockwise, and we're gonna go with Hector. What is so again, something sort of similar. You don't have like a sort of like a dream or a premonition, but you kind of wake up and you kind of hear a rather abnormal amount of like police sirens.
What the fuck is going on outside? It's the first thought that enters his head, and then he's gonna look out from his blinds. He's just gonna.
You kind of see a very similar thing. You see, you know, several columns of like black smoke, like in the area surrounding the Citadel.
I'm gonna turn on my radio station that I have with me and phone the station and ask if there's anything I could do in that area, if there's need for reinforcements. But regardless of the answer, I'm gonna head that way with my car. I'm gonna put on my lightweight armor.
So you first turn on your radio and you hear just kind of like, you know, constant radio chatter from like police officers about, like, they're saying that there's like a violent demonstration going on in front of the like in the area surrounding the Citadel, and pretty much a let's see, pretty much like I'd say probably a any like area within a like 300-foot radius of the Citadel is shut off. Like, and when you go to like, so you said you were going to like kind of a radio into the station.
Yeah, I'm gonna radio and try and see if they have a job for me. But if they don't, I'm gonna head there anyway because I feel like it's my duty, and I'm curious.
So, when you radio into the station, more specifically, your department, they seem kind of nonchalant about it, and they say they don't really say anything specific. They just say, whatever it is, that's none of our concern. Leave it to the regular police.
All right, as you say. And I'm gonna still head in that direction, regardless.
All right. So now we're gonna go to Officer Springs. You wake up. You're in your, you're still in your hospital room, and again, once again, you hear, the same sort of kind of thing. Just kind of like an unusual commotion outside your window.
Yeah, Ronald's gonna wake up and hear probably lots of people talking and shouting in the hospital, and he's gonna kind of stand up and check outside the window, see if he can see anything in the general area of where he thinks he heard the explosion.
Well, it wasn't really like an explosion, but you just hear like,
or just like noise.
Yeah, you just hear kind of like
commotion.
You're probably maybe a little bit closer to
Okay. The downtown kind of,
the downtown,
or closer to the Citadel.
Closer to the Citadel than your comrades are. So
okay.
Again, you can
my question is like
see, like several like clouds of like black smoke in the area. You'll see,
okay,
armored like police cars racing in that direction, and every so often you'll maybe see a figure kind of in a dressed in a I guess in a kind of a strange way. Like they have like bandanas like around their face and their head. They definitely don't look like people who. They don't look like regular people. This isn't like a way that like normal people dress on the regular.
This is more like clearly rioters or some sort of...
Yeah, something kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. Is my knee fairly decent to stand on after the surgery? I'm guessing this is after most of that's happened.
You can stand like pretty easily. Like maybe you have
perfect.
Like, just like maybe it's just kind of like a phantom joint kind of thing. You just have like this weird dull ache in your knee.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess
Make-
Ron will gather whatever equipment he'll have. And sorry, did you want me to make a roll?
Make a world lore check.
Absolutely. Sorry, Discord's going a little slow right now. 2020. That's a natural one, so I don't even think I get modifiers with that, but yeah, it's like a -4, so I have no idea what's going on.
I'm gonna say you're kind of
Unless,
adrenaline.
actually, you know what?
What are you gonna say?
Adrenaline's probably pumping. I'm gonna use Power of Will. I'm gonna use Power of Will
Yeah, use power of will
because that's
if you
a
want
good time to do it. Yeah, that's still not amazing, but it's a 3. That's not quite negative.
I'm gonna say it's not like a it's not like a total. It's like I'm gonna say it's like a semi-success because like the adrenaline. Yeah, you got the adrenaline pumping and kind of in the back of your mind is like you're thinking there was like some sort of significance to this specific day, but for whatever reason you can't remember what exactly, like what like.
Yeah, that was gonna be my other thought was would probably have checked the calendar just to see, because I know Ron has been waiting for a day to be approaching for a while, so he's gonna try and vaguely piece together and try and figure out, like, it should probably be around that time. So he's gonna just be in a bit of a brain fog with a low roll. I think it's actually a 5. I think I miscalculated that, but still with that roll, he just knows something's amiss. So he'll gather his gear, probably say something to the nurses that like he's a cop and he needs to get going, and probably stroll out of the hospital on route to whatever kind of chaos is outside.
Okay, so now all three of you are en route to the I guess the epicenter of this civil unrest, we'll put it. And I'd say, like, once Soleil gets probably within, like, maybe a couple blocks to the kind of, I guess, the exclusion zone, you hear Lieutenant Mayers comes over your radio, and they sound rather annoyed, and it's just like, Officer Greiser, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I just got here as quickly as I could. Don't you see what's going on?
Whatever is going down in the downtown is none of our concern. You need to report to the station. Did you hear me?
I will report to the station, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the other, Officer Keegan and Officer Springs will receive similar transmissions from Lieutenant Mayors once they kind of reach a like get to within a certain limit or a certain get close enough to the exclusion zone, basically telling them to stand down and report to the station.
Ronald's gonna immediately. I guess it's more of like an actual page rather than a call. So he'll say yes, and then he'll immediately call Sergeant Greiser and just ask her where she is and what's going on, if she knows anything that he doesn't.
Okay, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you two role play that out.
Perfect. So, yeah, he'll obviously just pull out his, I guess, phone or whatever it is in the future and press the little indicator that says Greiser and wait for her to pick up, hopefully.
I'll pick up.
Hey, Sarge, I just got out of the hospital. Do you know what's going on? There's all kinds of chaos in the capital.
I have no idea, but the lieutenant told me to just report to the station. Where are you?
I just got to the area as well, and I literally just got told the same thing. I don't know if they're watching us or if they. I'm literally like 2 blocks away from everything. I can kind of see the chaos now, but I really can't make much out.
Do you know what it's about?
I really don't know. I can see a bunch of people wearing all kinds of stuff covering their face, and people seem pretty agitated. It's a lot of energy out here. I'll tell you that. It's a lot more than I've seen in a while.
Ronald, make me a second world lore check.
Absolutely. Now that I'm a little more awake and on the streets, hopefully that'll do a little bit better. 10 altogether.
Suddenly it clicks. This you were kind of obsessing over, like when you went into Lieutenant Mayor's office, and you were looking at the calendar, and you were like looking at like that date on the calendar that said it was an event. You come to the realization that day is today.
Okay, I guess Ronald will kind of just mid-thought just kind of cut himself from saying anything and be like, Sarge, I think it's best we meet up. I'm not sure it's well, let's just meet up and see if we can get Hector out here as well. I'll give him a call next. Where are you?
Out of character, where am I? Like, how far have I gotten?
I guess what I imagine he's probably asking,
like you're near the coffee shop or whatever, like down on whatever street. Yeah. And I feel like you were working your way to the downtown core, so we're probably not far from each other, just on different streets. So we'll kind of coordinate. Yeah. We'll meet up, and I'll have called Hector in the meantime and figured out where he is.
Hello.
Sounds good.
Hey.
Hey, Hector, you see all the chaos outside, man.
I got a strange call from the station. Very suspicious. What is this all about?
Yeah, I just talked to the Sarge. She got the same call. I think it's better we meet up. And where are you?
I'm at the city center.
Are you at home or city center? Sounds like your engine's running. You got your car with you?
Yeah, I've got my car, and
perfect.
I could come and pick you up, and we could go together if you're on foot.
Yeah, I'm just meeting up with the sergeant now. We're gonna meet over just right down the street from that coffee shop, that old crappy one down in the Citadel area. Yeah, we're gonna meet up and we'll have a little chat in a bit. So I imagine a short while later we'll probably all meet up, and I'm not sure if probably me and the sergeant would meet up before Hector manages to get through all the traffic with everything going on. But
Yeah.
DM or Mythmaster's call.
It's okay. I'll just turn on my siren.
Yeah. So after a couple minutes, the three of you, meet up and meet up at this little cafe that you had mentioned prior, and as you,
Yeah. So I'm. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
As you're kind of I'm gonna say you're kind of pretty close to the exclusion zone, and as you after kind of a while, you kind of start noticing different sorts of people making their way towards the exclusion area, and they're dressed in all black. They've got gas masks, and they're very heavily armored, and they're carrying weapons, like rifles and other sorts of weaponry. And I'm gonna have all of you make warlord checks on this.
Okay, I rolled a 21.
You would know this, like, honestly, you probably would have succeeded in any case. For Hector, these are military foot soldiers. You see, like, one of them kind of runs past you with a with a rifle, and you kind of catch a glimpse of a patch on their shoulder, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a I guess a fist, like holding like a snake, and underneath it is the words. This is in Latin, so I apologize if I butcher it, but it says "Calcabimus tyrannidem," which I translated as "We will trample on tyranny." But you would know this, like pretty easily because you were one of them at one point. And just for, posterity, what did everybody else roll?
I rolled a 10 altogether. It's 14 minus 4.
And what?
I got a 5.
Just for whatever reason, at first Soleil has no idea what these people are. Springs, Officer Springs, kind of like suspects that this might be like the military intervening, but yeah, Hector would confirm all of that to you. So I guess I'll kind of let you role play that out a little bit some more.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I guess as soon as Ron sees Soleil and Hector, he'll be bringing up the fact that there was that one event day that he had stumbled across in the office. I'm not sure if he mentioned it to Hector, but he'll kind of fill Hector in and say this has got to be something to do with that. I'm pretty sure that was today. And there's some
Could be a coincidence, but I'm inclined to think otherwise.
I agree, Sergeant. I'm not sure if they're just going to give us some menial tasks once we get back to the station, or if they're going to write us up, or what we're going to run into there. So they definitely don't want us here, though, with whatever's going on. And Hector, you said you saw some military guys coming down when you were driving here?
Yeah, the military. It was the definitely the military. Don't know what much else, but that's what when I saw the uniform, I knew it right away. I had absolutely no doubt about it, 100%.
Yeah, I suspected, but I wasn't sure, so I'm glad you confirmed that for us at least. But what do you think, Sarge? This is way over my head.
I mean, we're not being ordered to help suppress the riot or whatever it is. So, what do we do?
So
I say we prepare.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Lubin?
I say we prepare for the worst scenario and arm ourselves to the teeth from the station. That is.
Yeah, once we walk into the station, are they going to let us even go near the armory, though?
I guess
the real thing is we can't hang around here without them probably getting suspicious of us doing something. We definitely can't go downtown without them probably.
It feels like that guy that we got earlier might have caused some kind of a big upheaval in town. I feel like it's best we prepare for some kind of a big, not regime change, but I don't know, like terrorist act or something. It's gonna get wild tonight. I can feel it.
What's the thing? I even tried calling Horace earlier, and I tried calling him right after I hung up with Hector, and his phone's even like disconnected. So this could go way deeper than we think. And we're all just gonna sit there in the chaotic silence that we're just kind of thinking.
And listening to the sounds of riot ensuing all around us.
Well, we have to take initiative. We have to do something.
I'm willing to do whatever you want, Sarge. You're the only person I really trust right now. I don't trust Avery, but if you want to go in to talk to her, or talk to them, I'll back you on that.
That would be mutiny, insubordination. What we should do.
I don't know. The way I see it is we were serving this town and this city. It's kind of insubordination to just let them just sit back and let this happen, you know.
That's
especially
right.
if we're the ones instigating it.
We should do our best to find out what they know.
So there's two ways about it.
All right. So what do we do? What do we do first?
Sarge?
Let's get to the precinct and figure out what they know. I'll tell you what. Hector, you should go in first and, well, don't make any threats, but act like you're angry.
Oh, well, that's not a problem. It's in my blood. I'll
tell you what. Knock on, just offhand knock on the office door when you want me to come in. And do that if it doesn't look like you're going to get an answer. Then I'll come in and back you up.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm walking in now. Wait, are we there yet? Or are we...
But we have to get there.
Yeah, we have to get there. So let's jump into my car, I guess.
Yeah, seeing as you probably have to kind of take some maybe some back roads, since the closer that since you're already pretty close to the exclusion zone, it's a bit hectic. But the further you get away, like it's almost like the city is unusually it's unusually not as crowded. Like there's still some people. There's still some people like wandering around, but there's also a increased police presence. It all seems like a lot of them are kind of like questioning people as they're just like stopping random people and like questioning them like what they're doing and where they're going.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said, Jeremy? Because I had to go and do something.
Oh, I said, like, the further you get away from the zone, like the streets are unusually kind of light. They're not as crowded as they usually are. There's still some like regular people wandering around, but you also notice a increased police presence, and a lot of like the police that you do see are kind of stopping like like people who are kind of out walking, asking them like what they're doing or where they're going and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of like really what you see like once you as you make your way to the station. So when you finally get to the station and you head up to the third floor where the offices of the CDD is, what I guess first and foremost, like when you get up there, it's almost like another day at the office. It's kind of just like nobody like kind of like seems to be paying any. Nobody seems to be paying really any mind as to like what's going on. Maybe in like the break room you can kind of see like a news broadcast of like the event, like kind of the events going on. But that's kind of like the only kind of indication that these people, the people of the office, like any sort of, it's like the only indication that like there's something going on.
Okay. Well, so just to clarify, out of character, the plan was for me to go inside and be by myself, and you guys are gonna be waiting for my signal or something. What was it like that? Something like that.
Yeah, I think that was more so for the talking to the Avery, but I'm not 100% sure if that was.
Yeah, I was just wondering if all the three of us are inside, or is somebody outside, or what?
I
What's the?
imagine we're by our desk areas, like near our offices, but I could be wrong.
Okay, okay.
Although Ron will be kind of scanning through the office and seeing if anyone's even remotely concerned. I imagine most of the officers aren't. Um, and again, just by habit, he'll look over at Horace's desk and just see that it's again been cleared out and emptied, and he's just gonna be like, "Man,
Yeah.
this is kind of wrong." Is what he's gonna kind of mutter to himself.
Yeah. There's really no indication that other than like that one TV screen that's in the break room, nobody seems to be either aware or like making any mention of like what's going on.
Well, I'm just gonna try to blend in with everybody else and act all just like they are. But I'm secretly going to keep my eyes on every detail, and I'm gonna try to do a perception check to see if there's anything that I'm missing out on, if that's okay.
Yeah, make perception check.
Okay, so it's 11.
Um, you don't like again. You don't hear anybody. You don't hear any of the other people in the office like really talking about the what's going on like at the Citadel. But you can, you know, you can see kind of like some news feeds of like what's kind of going on down there. Like you can, like from what you like at the moment, you can see kind of a sorry. At the moment, the news feed is kind of cut to a kind of like a rather like overweight middle-aged man uh, yelling into a yelling into like a megaphone, kind of egging on the protesters. He's like giving like some very like fiery speech, I suppose, to motivate the rioters to continue their push.
Why would he do that? Huh. That's what Hector's gonna think to himself. And he's gonna walk to the office door of Soleil, I believe, and do what she instructed him to do earlier.
Yeah, Ronald's gonna go get a coffee and watch as Hector goes to, I think it's Avery's office, and
Oh, sorry.
yeah, no worries. He's gonna just kind of watch and kind of have Hector's back just in case anything weird should happen.
All right, so you're going to make your way to Avery's office. Is that what I'm? Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Hector's gonna go to Avery's office, and Ron's just gonna hang out by the coffee area and just kind of watch. And I imagine Soleil's just probably at her desk, just looking through anything that's remotely relevant to, what's going on here, getting any kind of information she can.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do right now, to stay as a team, work together.
Yeah, I imagine she's probably looking at it as well, but I could be wrong. But if that's the case, then we should have all our bases covered.
All right, so um, uh, Lieutenant Mayers is in their office, and whenever someone were to knock on the door, they'll just kind of, tell them to come in.
So, what do we do?
It's up to you. If you want, I could go in.
I'm okay going in, but I don't know if I'm.
Maybe just ask her if she wants us to do anything. Ronald's just gonna kind of jokingly say over.
Okay.
She wanted us.
I'm gonna ask her.
So
I'm gonna ask her once I go in. Hey, is there anything? Are we just meant to stay here and just watch what's going on?
Yes, you are here to, stand by, await my orders. Like, but as of right now, I don't have any immediate orders for you, so just, sit back, finish your paperwork, and you know, you know, get to know some of your other colleagues, I suppose.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go and get myself a coffee and a donut whilst I'm doing that.
yeah, Ronald's probably having his coffee in the lunchroom as well. I imagine some other NPC cop is gonna having some sort of small conversation with him, and he's just gonna begrudgingly sitting there having a small chat with him. And as soon as Hector comes up, he'll look up with the kind of eyes of like, did you get any information? Did you get anything useful? But kind of seeing Hector's face, he's gonna quickly realize that he got told the runaround.
Read my lips.
Exactly. So he'll say, Hector, here, I'll get you a coffee, and he'll grab one of the little cups and pour him one.
Thank you, my friend. I really need one. Just kind of wake up from this. What is this? It's some kind of a weird dream, some kind of a nightmare. I don't even understand why we're not being sent out. What are we doing here? That's kind of what I'm gonna mutter that to him. Like, I'm not gonna.
Ron's just gonna kind of reply with, "Oh yeah, I was just discharged from the hospital. It seems like everything's one crazy dream," and he'll just kind of give him the look like, "I totally agree with you on so many more levels than I can say with this other schmooze just sitting here in the lunchroom with us." But after that, Ron will probably finish up quick and then go to his office, which is, I guess, right next to, or cubicle right next to the other two. So
Yeah.
thankfully he'll be within talking range of the other of Hector and Soleil, so we can actually have a proper discussion about what the hell's going on, why we're just sitting here, and why they clearly aren't interested in solving this issue when it seems to be rather serious for the community.
Okay, so if there's nothing like else that really, you know, kind of needs to be said or wants to be said, like kind of like several hours pass and nothing really happens. It's unusually dead as far as orders go until maybe about like 5 or 6 hours later. Lieutenant Mayers comes up to the three of you and they say, well, I finally have some orders for you. We are going to have you drive out to the outskirts of town and assist in disposing of the dissidents from today's event.
Ronald's just going to hear these instructions and just kind of give the eyes over to Hector and Soleil. Like, this seems really suspicious. That doesn't sound very very good after
I agree.
hearing virtually no orders and very little news coverage other than the very predictable, very sugar-coated news that we're probably getting through the office. So he'll just kind of nod, and as soon as Mayers walks away, he'll kind of just lean in a little closer to the others and say, yeah, I'm not so sure about this. But again, I'm not sure what we should do. I don't know what we can do. I guess we should get our gear and suit up, and we'll just try and think about what we can do in the meantime. Just kind of scanning around the office. Does everyone else seem rather excited, like all the other colleagues of ours?
Yeah, a lot of them there seems to be a lot more of a buzz around the office, like around about the time that you receive your orders to head out to dispose of the dissidents from the day's event, as Lieutenant Mayers had described.
So yeah, I guess are they expecting us to suit up in anything in particular? Like, is everyone kind of gathering pretty heavy gear, or are they just gathering service pistols and stuff? Or
Yeah, you're pretty much you know you know you're not really like ordered to really like suit up or armor up. You're basically just kind of told to take your service pistol with you and a few extra magazines of ammunition.
Ronald just kind of nod, and his heart will kind of sink when he hears that news as well. Just that definitely means they're expecting to use quite a few of these rounds. So he'll gather all his basic equipment, and he'll almost start clearing things out of his desk that he normally wouldn't take with him. Just for some reason, he just gets this weird feeling that he should do that.
All right. So what is everybody else doing when they receive those orders?
I'm just gonna get ready to go and fuck shit up, basically.
You're ready to shoot it out, Federico style.
I'll just start psyching myself up as well.
Okay. So everybody, gets whatever they takes whatever they need. Takes whatever they need, and they head out to their head out to where they're ordered, and really where they're ordered is it's definitely a sort of large. It's several miles on the outside of Unity City limits, and it's a rather large prison camp of sorts, and as you're driving out there, there's really not really much to the scenery, other than the miles upon miles of solar panels and the occasional wind turbine farm, and maybe these a handful of trees. But the solar panels and wind turbines vastly outnumber the trees out there. So when you arrive at this big prison camp, the three of you are kind of assigned kind of a specific area to stand. And pretty much you're just kind of told to wait there, just kind of have your firearm at the ready. And you guys pretty much wait maybe about 5 to 10 minutes before several unmarked vans start to pull up, and these the two men in the driver and passenger seat of the van open the back doors, and they start leading out, individuals. They all have hoods over their heads, and they just kind of line them up in front of you. And they say, like, whenever you're ready, and kind of make the the motion with their fingers to shoot them.
Sorry, I was on mute there. Just out of curiosity, can we tell like how old these people are, what gender they are? Like, are they all males? Or are they just got the hoods on?
A lot of them, like they all have hoods on them, but kind of looking at them, they are predominantly. You could kind of tell that they are predominantly men. Like a small
I guess
handful
Ronald will
of
just
women and others that are you can't really tell what they are.
Okay. Yeah, Ronald will just look over at his sergeant and Hector, and he'll just kind of gauge what they're thinking right now, because Ronald really is just kind of between a rock and a hard place. He does not want to shoot these people. It doesn't seem right.
I'm in the same place as he is, isn't he? Isn't my character?
So you are basically going to so what exactly are you doing? Are you like hesitating?
Sorry,
Or...
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitating. I'm just watching what Hector and Soleil are doing. I know we're not too far apart from each other, but I imagine we're far enough from each other that we can't really see each other's faces, especially in the dark. That's just my assumption.
And what does Soleil do? Are you there, Trenton?
I apologize. I've been trying to follow along as best I can, but my internet's been really bad, and I'd say I've probably missed about a lot of the past 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
No worries, dude. Basically, I'll let Jeremy, if you want to recap, you can. If you want me to recap,
yeah. So
essentially,
you've received orders to execute, some of these dissidents that have been rounded up from the event that just occurred at the Citadel, and you were basically told to just take your service pistol and several extra magazines of ammunition. You're driven out to this massive prison concentration camp out of the city limits, and you were assigned like a specific spot to stand. Afterwards, like several like unmarked vans pulled up. The people in the vans, took, started, unloading several like hooded individuals, and they line them up in front of you, and they basically are just say whenever you're ready to just you blow their heads off. Did you catch any of that?
Yeah. So just so we're on the same page, so we got orders to execute the dissidents. We got driven out to this facility, and now it's time for us to get on with it.
Correct. And
Okay.
the your two comrades are kind of hesitating about this. So I was just asking, like, well, like, what is the Soleil doing?
Well, is there anyone around other than us who is like observing us?
You probably have several of your peers, like from the department, including Lieutenant Mayor, who's kind of walking around, like watching the other people, the other individuals, and there's also like prison guards.
All right.
Probably you can assume some military individuals.
Okay. In that case, I guess what I'm going to do is I'll just turn to Hector and Ronald and I'll say, officers, gentlemen, waiting won't make it easier.
No, it won't. So I'll start first and blow somebody's head up.
So, like, were we transporting dissidents, or do we have to go into the facility to get them?
So essentially, you are just kind of like standing in a line, and these people in these vans are just kind of like pulled, these individuals out of their van and stood them right in front of you, so that you can execute them.
Soleil will. Would you mind if I make a morale test?
Absolutely.
Right. I have +1 to this. Cocked. So I'll re-roll that. And that's a 15. So I think I'm fine, and I will shoot.
Yeah, pretty much like whenever you blow someone's head off, they that same, like, there's another group of people just kind of take the now lifeless body and just kind of toss them unceremoniously into like the back of like a tractor trailer of sorts. And there's like kind of very little waiting time between like you offing one dissident that another one is put in his place.
I feel like Ronald will end up pulling the trigger, but just because he's paranoid and he knows he'll probably get shot if he doesn't do that. Or in a roundabout way, it'll probably get back to him. So he will probably lose some mental health points. I'm just going to double check how that works.
Yeah, I would say
Because this
that
is a very,
you're
very
gonna lose
traumatic
some,
experience.
yeah, you're definitely gonna lose some mental health points about like from this. So
I gotta test my DD against 18, I think. Let me see. Oh yeah, I failed that. So I'm gonna lose some points.
Do we all need to test mental health,
yeah,
or is it just him?
Yeah, I'm gonna say everybody tests their mental health, like for this whole thing.
So there's a certain amount of points you can lose. Seeing another person die is 1 point. Seeing another person die horribly, which could be constituted here as a D4. If you see a loved one or a child die horribly, it's a D8. Obviously, that's very traumatic. And then there's other things that would not really apply here. An act of cowardice is 1 point, but I mean, I said I'd pull the trigger, so that's fine. But yeah, Ronald's gonna hate himself a little bit for doing this.
Yeah. So yeah, you are just kind of like, you know, again, just following orders, just offing like one person after another for several hours. You kind of like at some point kind of lose count of how many people you've shot. And the people around you, some of them are a lot more like stoic about it, whereas some of the other people, like, they're kind of like laughing and joking about it. It's just kind of like I guess in a way kind of shows like the like they don't necessarily take it that seriously, I suppose. This is just like normal, I suppose, to them. And
Okay, so what's interesting is I was just reading a little bit farther into mental health. There's also a post-traumatic stress disorder, which you can apply for, or you can apply for. You can also suffer from. You test your will against a DD of 8, and then after you lose any kind of mental health points. I actually rolled and I got a 5. So then you roll on another table from any kind of failure on a D6. I rolled a 6. So it actually says that a character flees from the horror he just witnessed or experienced. So I'm probably just going to drop my gun and walk away from this. And just walk away in a little bit of a daze.
yeah, I would imagine you just kind of like after a while, you've just kind of like had enough, and you just drop your gun, like walk away. You probably just like like vomit from like the horrors that you've been taking part of.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not sure what everyone else is doing, but yeah, Ronald's had enough and he's done. He's contemplating a lot of what got him here.
I'm gonna have the rest of you also roll for that. For
And that's fortitude, right?
Willpower against DD of 8 if you've suffered any mental health points. So
Oh,
I
okay.
imagine all of us have suffered at least one.
And I got a 7.
You fail, so you have to roll a D6.
Okay. 6. That's not good, is it?
That's the same as me. You probably
let me see. Let's see.
I think
rolled a
you
6.
you flee.
Oh, yeah,
This is on page
5 to 6. Flees from the horror that they just witnessed. So I imagine you kind of have a similar experience to what Officer Springs did. You probably just like like your mind just can't take any more of like what you've just done, and you probably lose your lunch too.
Yeah.
And what of Hector?
He got a 4 on D8.
The 4 on the D8, you said?
Yes, 4 on D8.
Oh, sorry, it's a D20 for will.
Oh, okay.
You have to. It's your difficulties to beat 8, so you need higher than 8.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a 16.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought so.
You being a veteran of war, this is not new to you. I guess you're just kind of numb to it to a degree. And,
Yeah, I barely care. Like, I just keep exploding their brains one after the other. Boom, 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 boom.
all right. So I guess now the two of you, um, uh, Officer Greiser and Officer Springs, kind of make a after you you know purge the contents of your stomach, you kind of get a look around, and you see a lot of the people who are you know also helping carry out the executions. They look like they don't look like uniformed police. Some of them do, but like a lot of them seem to be like dressed up in like they were taking part in the riots as well. And another one is like the that one really like kind of burly, like overweight, middle-aged guy that I think it was I think it was Hector who made the observation, but he was the guy that was kind of like egging the people on to continue.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Can I specifically shoot him a couple of times extra and then stomp on his balls?
Oh, he's not one of the guys getting executed.
Oh shit. Okay.
He's the one executing people along with you.
Oh, he is executed. Oh shit. Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna be
Wait,
thinking of
sorry,
doing.
who is?
Um, there was like a there was a I think it was Hector was watching a kind of like a news broadcast or like a live feed of like what was going on during the riots, and he remembered seeing a man who's like kind of like an overweight middle aged guy, egging the protesters on, and he is standing in line with you executing these prisoners. So, I imagine.
Yeah, Ronald's gonna try and compose himself a little bit more, and he's gonna ask if he can be dismissed for the end of the night, or if they need anything else, because he's done.
Yeah, they have no they have no problem you know letting you be excused, and somebody else takes your place in the firing squad. So now that you've been kind of excused, and I imagine the same thing happens to Soleil. what do the two of you do now?
Probably just wait in the car, you know? There's not really much we can do because if we leave, we'll be leaving Hector behind.
Okay, so you probably, you said you head back to your car and you just kind of wait there. And then, as you're waiting, you probably have a lot of time to kind of think about what's going on. Like you kind of like you're maybe now starting to see the that the rule of the party is not what people have been told what it is. It's a lot more. It's a lot more of a tyrannical rule, I suppose. I mean, of course, these were people that were you know rioting against the party, but after that whole experience that you just had, you have really a lot on your mind, and so that's specifically Soleil, and what does Ronald Officer Springs do?
I guess he'd probably wait in the car with the sergeant and probably just murmur something like, what the hell was that? But he doesn't say too much after that.
Well, I don't even know. It's difficult to reconcile this with. I shouldn't be saying these things.
Ronald's just gonna kind of sit and think for a bit, and he's gonna think quite a bit, and he's gonna just go ahead.
No, never mind.
How do we know Hector wasn't one of those people, or how do we know Horace wasn't one of those people that was out there? He'll just say after a little while.
We don't.
He'll just kind of think and look out the window and just the opposite direction of where all these shots are probably still taking place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Hector is continuing to follow orders like the good soldier that he is, but his two companions are very deeply troubled about in the situation they've found themselves in, and I think this would probably be a good point to end the session. This
Sounds good. Yeah, that was a heavy session, but it was a good one.
Yeah, it was, again another very role play heavy session, but you now have like an idea of like what's going on in this world. So I'm gonna stop the broadcast.